This will be a build video, or well, it's not really a build video, it's more of a teardown video where I will show you how it's put together for this Zeroids Zintar robot toy. That's a recreation of a toy from the 1960s. I'll do a short demo here of it. Driven by a Coke can RC controller. It came out of one of these. Turn this controller on. Turn the toy on. It's got 3 self-flashing LEDs in the front. They flash out of sync, so it kind of makes it look like he's thinking. Posable arms, posable hands. Hands are held on by magnets. Don't drive it around. As I mentioned in the demo video, I'm not real happy about the motion of it, but jerking up and down. I tried to make some TPU tracks, but I wasn't having much luck at it. So I might revisit that later, but for now we're just going to go with what we got. Print in place PLA tracks. I'll turn it off. Start showing how it's put together. First of all, we'll just take it apart from the top down. This, and this are just glued into the head part. Now all these parts that are split down the middle so they can be printed better, they'll have a hole in them so you can glue them together and keep them aligned. So you can just use your normal 1.75 millimeter filament to put in those holes, just some short lengths when you're gluing them together to hold them into alignment. This little thing right here is a dome I bought from Amazon. It is I believe 1-inch dome. I'll put it in the description on the Thingiverse file. So let's start taking it apart. This light here is made in 2 parts. This is kind of a iffy thing right here, but it does work. Just thread it on. Just don't get crazy with it when you're tightening it down. It's painted in chrome. All the chrome parts are painted with this Malato liquid chrome. It's really great stuff. Got it on Amazon. It's kind of expensive. This is made in 2 parts that are glued together so you can paint it. Here's the little dome. Now this dome, when you get it, it will have a little tab on it here, but you'll have to cut off. But before you cut it off, what you want to do is use this little jig here. You can put this in there, hold it down like this, and use your 3 millimeter drill to drill a hole, this hole in this dome. So that's for alignment purposes. After you do that, you can cut that tab off. But this is an STL that's included in the files. Now we've got this. I called it the brain. I don't know what it's supposed to be called. It's just glued to the head part. The screw is a 3 millimeter screw. Can't remember the length of it. I think it's probably 12 millimeters. Don't hold me to that though. But you can see how far it hangs out. You'll want to glue that screw in the bottom of the brain so it extends up that far. So you can put that on it. These globes come in 2 halves. This is the half that you'll want to use. The one with a lip like this. The other one will have is the opposite of it. It's meant to snap over this. You can't use that one. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get them, if you decide to build it. Just go ahead and put that back on there. There's a screw right back here. You've got the 12 millimeter screw. All these screws are from this kit I buy from Amazon, and then I just refill it as I needed. It's there's socket button head cap screws, 3mm. Once you take that screw out, you can pop the back off here. This is the back of it. This will print with supports. Now you can see the arms, the mechanism for making them posable. Whoops, its head fell off. Well, first of all, this neck part is made in 2 parts, just like the head. Got some filament alignment holes in there, and this is glued to the head. The brain is glued to the head. These inserts are glued in. I made this in clear filament, but you really can't tell it. So however you want to make that, whatever color. The method for making these posable, there's a screw right here. I think it's 16mm long. It's a little bit long. There's a reason for it so long. This little thing here, I think I call it the arm end plate or something, inner plate or something like that, has an O-ring on it. It's a 114, number 114 from an Harbor Freight O-ring kit. All it uses to make it posable is this. This will fit on here. It's located and clamped together. You can adjust it, but you'll have to adjust it before you put it all together. Get the tension the way you want it so that it moves the way you want. And then you can assemble it. You can see this one. And these arms are built. This is a little separate plate that you can paint. The arms are built in 2 halves, so it can be printed. And there's, I think at least there's 1 filament alignment hole in there. So be careful when you're gluing all this together. The way I do it is I use, I'll take one of these, help to align it as I'm gluing it, and the arm piece here. I don't think I've glued this arm piece on yet. You can see, and you can help. I use super glue to align them. Just make sure you don't glue this to this and prematurely. But you glue these together, and you glue your arm on. Right down. This part here is also separate. It is glued. It has a square, basically the same as this. A square fitting into a hole. Down in here is a 6mm by 1.5mm magnet I've just glued in there. And a same size magnet just glued on the end of this hand. This hand will print like that. I couldn't make any locating hole or anything because the walls would be so thin. So you'll just glue your magnet on the end there. Works pretty well. So that's how the arms go on. Now here we are inside the toy. Let me get something. This part and this part are 2 different parts, obviously. They're snapped together. Here's the battery, 3 AAA batteries. This part is posable. Forgot to mention that. It just snaps down in here like this. But it's made just like the head the other pieces in two parts. There's filament alignment holes in here to glue it together, so you can put it in different colors. This part is glued to the neck, I think is what I called it. Is that what I called it? No, mid-torso or something like that. I can't remember what I called it. But this rib part is glued to this, and there are alignment holes right here for the filament. So when you can glue those together, you can get them in alignment. So you can glue it right here, and maybe a little glue down here. You will have to make sure that your LEDs are in there first, because they will not go in if you don't have them in there before you glue this in. You have to put the LEDs in and then glue these together. The schematic is right here. I'm going to put an image of this on in the files. You just have your positive and negative coming up straight from the battery, the switch side, through a connector. This connector, and its polarities, you need to get the polarity right, so mark them or however you want to do that, but you got to get your polarity right. And they come up here, and then coming off the positive side through a 1K resistor to the LED. Each LED has its own resistor. Flashing resistors are 1K, and they're like 1/8 watt for small resistors, just for room's sake. Then the other side of the LED, the negative side, just goes to your negative wire down to your battery. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of a tight fit in there, but you can do it. I hope this is all showing up. But anyway, I did this so you could take it apart, because you're going to need to take it apart. Like I said, this just snaps together. There's a little bumps down here, but hopefully we'll hold it together, make it posable. Now we're down to this part. Your battery's right here. These wires here are coming up like in the schematic. They go down and get hooked on to the negative and the switch side of the positive. Now we'll hold the battery in. Now we're going to take the bottom off. It's got 3 screws here. I think these are just 8mm long. I only got 2 of them in there. Yeah, they're 8mm long, about 3mm screws. That print pulled up on the bed. I'm noticing that as I'm taking it apart. I never noticed it before. This black filament, for some reason, didn't want to stick to the print bed very good. You can see the wires going up to the battery. So you have these separate wires. This goes to the LEDs. This goes, the batteries go down into the receiver compartment. These are just glued on inserts that you paint first. I printed these in black and glued them on. These are both identical. Just float them around till they feel right, because they print flat down like this. They're not symmetrical, so float them around until they kind of match up with the contour of this. Maybe you can see it there, of this oval shaped thing. This is just glued in. It's a multicolor print. I have an AMS on the Bamboo Lab, so I just printed this in multicolor. It didn't take very long. This is held on. This plate is another just a standalone part, and it is sandwiched in between this and this of these two screws. They're just 8mm screws. I think that's what I used. Or it might be 12mm, probably 12. Just look. You can look down in there and just make sure it don't stick up too far. Well, I don't think it would hurt anything. It's all printed with supports down here. You have to get all that out there, but really couldn't think of another way to do it and maintaining the shape. The lights are printed in 2 halves with a little piece of filament between them for alignment. There was supposed to be a trailer hitch here, but I didn't add it because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. There's like a nub here. Wasn't sure to add it or not. I just put a hole there. Now we're down to the unit that drives it. The print in place tracks are just held on, but this is just pushed on to the drive wheels are just pushed on to the motor. They have a, let me see if I can find one. There's a different version. This is the one for the flexible track I was trying, but this part's the same. There's a little slot here and a hole. The slot will line up to with your flat on the motor. These motors have this is a bad one I got there's a little flat here. You just push it on there like that. The idea behind this slot was to give it a little flexibility also, so that it might be easier to push on there and stay on there. The back one is held on. I think it's a 12mm screw, 12 or 16. The tracks are printed in place. I'm going to include 2 different track files. One has a 0.2mm clearance, and one has a 0.3mm clearance. These are a 0.2mm clearance, and they worked out good on the Bamboo Labs Mini. But the 0.3 might come in handy if you try them on a different printer, or for whatever reason they come off fused together. Yeah, there's for a similar track to this piece. So if it comes out just one solid piece and doesn't want to crack and break apart and free up, you can try the looser file. And you just snap them together like this by hand. You'll have to, if you snap together the tracks first, which is probably the best way to do it, put this drive wheel on, then you can screw this on, fit this in there and screw it on, and otherwise you won't be able to get the track on. It won't fit with the wheels on, unless you want to try to snap it together with the wheels on. You could wrap it around and snap it together, but I haven't tried that, and I don't think it would be easy. Here's the electronics. It's held in by this little plate right here. These are 8mm screws. This little plate here, its function is to hold the motors in place. So you can see it prints like this on the bed. It's a symmetrical part. I don't think it matters which way. I think it's symmetrical. I don't think it matters which way you put it. Can't remember for sure. Here's the little motors. You can see they got one's on one end, one's on the other end, just to keep it thin, because it was all a tight fit to get this to approximately match the original dimensions, or what I think are the original dimensions. This little yellow thing right here, it's just a little plug that holds the power switch in. Here's the power switch. This is the receiver from the RC, the Coke can RC car. I've done a separate video showing how to get this out of this car and wire it to motors. So I'm not going to go into that now. The only thing different is I took where the switch power comes into this board. I also have this little two wires coming off the same place. They were the original mount points of the little battery that fit in here. So your red one goes over here and your black one goes over here. These feed up to the LEDs. You should probably make sure you get this wire long enough. You don't want that too short for sure. You should probably wire all this up, make sure it's going good before you try to put it all together, especially if you're not familiar with electronics. There's my little notes I had. 3AA battery box, Coke can car controller, 6mm by 1.5mm magnets for holding the hands on, 1" or 25mm clear fillable ball. That's what makes up the little dome. N20 gear motor, 6-volt, 90 to 100 RPM. 2-track files, as I talked about those. The O-rings are number 114 out of a Harbor Freight kit. And then you just got your 3mm screws and stuff. Well, I think that's all I wanted to show. If you have any trouble building it, just leave a comment on the Thingiverse or Printables or wherever you downloaded it from. If I failed to upload any files, there was like 41 of them, so it's possible I missed one. I don't think I did, but let me know there too. Well, I'm going to put this back together, so thanks for watching.